Okay, fellow South Africans, this country. I've been watching some videos this morning. The first video that I saw is of a makeshift home affairs in Mpumalanga.
Sakuthethe mfowethu ukuthi sekuhamba kanjani mfowethu? Hayi manje kunezinto ezitholakele. Manje sicela amaphoyisa ukuthi angene ababophe. Osekukhona izinto ezinjengamadrags. Yeah. Kodwa njengamanje lapho engena khona office escort wathi akukho lutho. Wathi akukho lutho. Ulwaso uyalazi indaba. Yeah. Ngiyazwala mfowethu. Yeah. Hayi cha sesikhonfemile mfowethu yilo i-room leli angene kulo Mr Scott waphuma wathi akukho lutho kodwa njengamanje sekutholakala ene lo ubiza uScott ubiza lo Jiya lana amafuna ofuna ngiyabona kanti uyazi ukuthi i-official umazele home affairs official lase home affairs ama-foreigner abalekela kubi kutholakala ama-copy wama-ID kubi hayibo yini into abayibalekela kubi asebenze e-home affairs yini into abenzele yona asebenze home affairs sekutholakala ama-copy njengamanje la kunomshini hayibo yo ofethu ngishela le video ibonisi i-home affairs ise-ofisini Hey, ahambe ubone izinto njengamanje. Ngingathola ama-ID la. Ngingathola ama-ID la kune-home affairs.
And what's so interesting about that discovery, the people in the area know of a building. In fact, the area allegedly, it is known to sell white powder. And the police know about that in Mpumalanga. They go and collect a protection fee. They do all this nonsense that enables those Nigerians to do as they please. So one of the residents calls the police. I'm not quite sure how he saw this, and informs the police that, hey, listen, there's a makeshift home affairs in that building. So the police said, okay, we are going to go and check. They go and check. Then they come back to the community who's already waiting outside, because allegedly the area also was declared a non-go zone area for South Africans. So these South Africans were like, we are not going to be told what to do in our country. That's exactly where we are going to. And they pointed at the building that sells white powder. So the police go in, they come back out, they tell the community, oh, there's no such a thing that is going on in this building like white powder and a makeshift home affairs. Those South Africans were like, destroy la gabi. So they close access into that building. So what South Africans did, climb on each other's shoulders, and they were going over the balcony into the building. Of course, those Nigerians and other illegal foreigners that are in that building, they were overpowered by South Africans, which now forced the police to do their job. One of the police officers that said, oh, that room, I know there's no such a thing as a makeshift home affairs. But the South Africans were adamant. They're like, yeah, there's a home affairs in there that prints out permits. Whether you want a business visa, that's where you are going to get it. Whether you want a permanent visa, a permanent residency, that's where you're going to get it. You want to travel to another country using a South African passport, guess what? It's printed there. So they're like, police, no. So they had to force the police to open that apartment. Lo and behold, when they opened the apartment, there's those machines. Home affairs machines. Just as you are thinking, but wait a minute, before I went to bed last night, I saw something about SIU that also discovered a whole visa market by home affairs officials. Everything that is going on in South Africa since the 6th of July, some people are sitting on their ears and they are blinding themselves because of money. They must wear that Louis Vuitton. That's what we fela yona like South Africa. Sifela in Louis Vuitton, you guys. So now what should happen to those police units? Because it's the same police unit now that was opening the gate. The guy had to go get the key, open. Yeah, it was. South Africans stormed into that apartment. And this side SIU is saying, oh, well, not, I guess for me, most of the people that are here in this country carrying green barcoded IDs or smart card IDs and they are non-South African, you can never convince me that those IDs were obtained legally. You cannot convince me that they were obtained legally. So what should we do? What is Home Affairs going to do? Because the only thing to me that is sitting in my head is to overhaul all IDs, passports, smart ID, green barcoded IDs, whatever the case might be, that were issued, including passports that were issued as far back as 2001, coming this way. That is how I think and I believe we can solve this issue, where the system will sift out people that obtained these so-called identity documents out of here, arrest them. And they must also show the Home Affairs, which Home Affairs official they were dealing with. To my shock, to this very day, there are South African women with surnames that are not of their own or South African for that matter, simply because they were married without their knowledge. Remember that back in the early 2000s, like late 90s, early 2000s, where women would wake up, either some would discover when they're about to register their marriage to their husband, who happens to be a South African, and Home Affairs tell them, but you are already married. They're like, excuse me, no. Well, you are Miss Abogyaye according to our system. Apparently, that is still ongoing to this very time. Ah, South Africans, South Africa, South Africans. What do we do? Because to me, where I am seated, there's no way we can let our government get away with this. They created this environment. They made this environment conducive for illegal foreigners to do as they please. Look at this one. Just look at this one.
And the masipala does not give our services wise.
In case you are wondering what's going on here, illegal foreigners have built their own power station. They are suppliers of electricity. It's not funny. It's not funny. An entire power station, and he collects money to the informal settlement houses that he supplies our electricity to. We must give it to him. We must give it to him. We must give it to him. This guy was like the lawless country on the African continent is South Africa, and I will get away with it. There is no way that the police did not know this. No way. Because if you are police, let's say you get a call, right? There's a crime that it's been reported, and you drive to this informal settlement and you see that this informal settlement has electricity. As a police officer, it doesn't arouse any suspicion. I think it did, and I think it was investigated, and it was discovered that they're generating their own electricity. They go into the suburbs, they steal copper wires, and then they take the copper wire. And for the longest time, we thought they were selling them to scrapyard. Yes, they are selling them to scrapyards, but also they are building their own power station. And I don't think this is the only power station that exists anywhere in South Africa. And then the government says, "Oh no, don't exercise your Section 42 of the Criminal Procedure Act." And then they call us vigilantes because we are exercising or implementing Section 42 of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977. We get called vigilantes. And yet there are crimes that we are witnessing, that when we call the police, they are not interested. Just like the police in Mpumalanga, they need to be arrested. They need to be arrested for defeating the ends of justice. The community says there's a home affairs in there, and there are drugs that are also being sold in there. They go in, they come back out and say there's nothing here. But the communities are engaged and they forcefully go into the building, and that machine is found. White powder is found. Illegal foreigners found. But the government is saying, don't touch them. The same police that are corrupt will. You know, there's Imbawula. Imbawula, I don't know what it's called in English. That's South Africa right now. And the people of South Africa are saying, no, we cannot accept this. Rightfully so. We shouldn't. Abahambe. Abahambe. Police know where other substations are. And they need to go and shut them down. Arrest the perpetrators. Because they are known to them. This country is exhausting. The country is exhausting. The government that government ithakathiwe bafethu ngeze ningitshele. Bathakathiwe laba bantu. Badlisiwe. And this is usually not my language, you know. That the conclusion is but lately, convince me about something else. Other African leaders, they stand their grounds. Then you have the ambassador of Nigeria lying through her teeth. No, Ramaphosa doesn't call her and say, hey, listen, the lies that you were telling about us. No, he doesn't do it. The propaganda then becomes a norm. And people accept this as the truth. Asusana politicians. Let's remove the politicians, guys. Let's remove the politicians. No, they are not serving us with anything. Let's remove the politicians and let them go. Some of them, let's take them back where they come from. Maybe you will wake up and remember why you became a politician. Anyways, let me leave the video here because I'm getting worked up. I'll see you next time with a new one. Goodbye.